To determine if she was dreaming, she pinched her arm firmly. She wasn't. She sniffed and cried. As she watched the guy she loved in another's arms, her heart burst into a million pieces. He was her lifelong dream. She couldn't believe he did this to her. After so long, she was surprised to learn something new about him. She would discover everything. Cheryl was determined to discover the truth after realizing the man she had known for over a decade was a sham. After discovering the truth, she felt only anger. She only wanted revenge. 40-year-old Cheryl Connor boasted. She had her dream career as a university professor, a loving husband, and 2 amazing stepdaughters. Cheryl believed that luck had helped her achieve that seemingly perfect life. She was wrong. However, there were issues. Cheryl experienced lows like everyone else. She struggled with infertility and poverty. She fought for her dream life, and it finally came true. She soon discovered that all that glitters is not gold. Cheryl and Greg were happily married for over 13 years. Greg's daughters completed Cheryl's life. If you like my videos, don't forget to like or subscribe. Thanks in advance. Cheryl knew she couldn't have it all after marrying her soulmate. Her marriage needed improvement. Even though she tried to stay positive, they sometimes drove her crazy. Greg worked for most of their marriage to support his family. Greg missed many holidays as the situation worsened. Merry Christmas was texted to Cheryl and their daughters. No gifts or calls. Cheryl would discover why. Cheryl knew her husband was working hard to give them the life they deserved. Cheryl tolerated his absence because he was the perfect family man. She sometimes had thoughts that made her feel guilty and ashamed. Cheryl felt lonely and secretly resented Greg when his absences were too frequent and long. Why couldn't he delegate some of his duties to a coworker and spend more time with her and the kids? Did he think his wife and daughters only needed money? More. Cheryl sometimes fantasized about her life if she had married a different man. Cheryl was horrified whenever she had those thoughts. She felt guilty and ashamed and told herself her husband was doing what was best for the family. One day, this cycle ended. She smiled and offered to help Greg pack for training in North Carolina. He left the next morning after kissing her. Cheryl was calm this time. She was grateful for her hardworking husband. One text changed everything. As Cheryl put the kids to bed, her phone buzzed. Her husband wrote about a great North Carolina church he found. He named the church singers, thinking she would like them. Her husband's kindness warmed Cheryl. She got a nasty surprise. After researching the artist, she was confused. Cheryl and Greg had lived in North Carolina for quite some time, so they both knew the area very well. Greg attended a Knoxville, Tennessee event. Her anger boiled. She had to uncover his lies. Cheryl found him while browsing social media. He had company. She collapsed when she saw it. Her husband was wearing the sweater she had gifted him on his birthday, holding another woman's hand. Cheryl's world collapsed. This discovery was the first event of many that sent Cheryl spiraling into a deep, dark depression. As she would learn, the signs were there if she had paid attention. She felt deceived when she saw it. How was she so stupid? Cheryl only wanted it to be a mistake. How could Greg do this after 10 years of love and support? She reconsidered confronting Greg. She became a private detective instead. Her discovery sickened her. Greg managed the family finances since he was better at it. Cheryl permitted him. Trust was gone. What else is he hiding from her? Cheryl had a hunch that the bills and documents held the proof she needed. She gasped when she discovered her husband had opened many credit cards in her name without her knowledge. Shopping, concert, and dinner receipts were found. It got worse. She found a Christmas card thanking her husband for spending the holidays with another woman. Cheryl remembered her husband's holiday frustration. He reassured them that working out of state would bring financial freedom. He lied to his wife and kids. How? How could he be so heartless? He wanted her to think he was the perfect husband. However, receiving a gift for another child sent a different message. He gave the other woman's parents gifts. This was just the beginning. As Cheryl descended, the horrors increased. She used his old phones and computers to dig deeper. She cried when she discovered his infidelity began 2 years after their wedding. More. She found receipts and messages from multiple women who had attended church with him. Those messages revolted. Cheryl broke into a million pieces when her husband told strangers about her fertility issues. Some women knew about her. Cheryl was in denial, but she knew what to do. She had to see his betrayal for herself. Following her husband was easy. She rented a car and drove to Knoxville because he usually takes her car for work trips. She was ready for the worst. She had no idea she would discover something even worse. Thanks to her car's GPS tracking system, she could always find her husband. He went to a dog park with another woman, and she followed. Her chest tightened as tears fell. She was in a situation she never expected. Face the awful truth. Cheryl decided to reveal her husband's true nature. She told her family the heartbreaking news. She told her husband's parents everything. After everyone knew her husband's true colors, there was more to do. Cheryl had a plan. She left after hearing the news. Her husband had to find out through his own family that she was leaving him, and he was stunned. He begged her to stay, saying none of it was true and that he was just trying to take care of them. Cheryl nearly believed him. She struggled to say goodbye to her longtime love. They built a life. Cheryl wanted him back to forget everything. However, her husband did something terrible that was irreparable. She couldn't ignore what she saw and continue their relationship. Cheryl discovered a few weeks after their divorce that one of her husband's mistresses had a child. Final arrangements needed to be made for Cheryl's husband's health insurance. He registered the child on Cheryl's insurance, and when she saw his name, her heart sank. Greg and Cheryl actively sought a child after their marriage. Cheryl made a list of baby names because she was so excited. After years of trying, Cheryl accepted her inability to have children. It devastated her, but she eventually accepted it. This discovery would reopen wounds. She double-checked her health insurance name. Her eyes were astonished. She had no idea. Her husband named their child Cheryl's name. It broke her heart, but she made the right choice. Greg hurt Cheryl for months. She found a kind, patient man who helps her trust new people. He taught her love, and she was happy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in the next video.